Welcome back to Gold Rush, a game I featured on the channel a number of months ago, and there's been quite a few updates since then with lots of new machines, lots of new stuff to do, and lots of changing mechanics, I guess. So why don't we get started with a new game? It's a new season, so we're starting from scratch, unfortunately. That's just the way new seasons go. And we'll see whether it's worthwhile carrying on a season. Do let me know in the comments, given what you see. And what I'm going to do is pretty much cut out a lot of the digging side of things. Digging's all well and good, but it's quite laborious. It takes some time, so don't expect any daily episodes of this kind of thing. Yeah, let's just go away. And is this going to show tutorials? It is. Let me just disable those tutorials, I hope. Yeah, let's disable those tutorials. Into settings, game. I also enabled machine failures. This is a new feature. I'm not sure whether I want to do this or not, but I've enabled it just because it's worthwhile to show you guys what happens if you do enable it. So that's fine. Tutorial prompts, let's disable those. I don't think, whoops, I don't think we actually need those at all. You gonna go away? Yes, okay. So let's get in, start the engine, release the handbrake, so that's X and space respectively. And press C to change camera because I don't want this camera at all. So to start the game, what we need to do is first of all head down to the bank, which is that kind of building on the corner there on the left. And we need to lease our first parcel. The parcel is just really a parcel of land. So the only option you have at this start of the game is to lease this one parcel. There are loans. We're not going to cover those this episode. You can track the stock price of gold, and this is where you only want to sell gold bars when it's, you know, heading sort of up on this. And of course, we have no gold bars. None at all. Fine. So we're going to lease this for nothing. Old Arnold is clearly very, very, I guess, friendly, very cheap. He's sort of anti-capitalist or something? I don't know. We'll see. In either case, you get it for $0. So we just need to head to the store and pick up our first set of tools. Ooh, already hitting things. Hopefully I don't break the pickup this early. A bit nasty. I just have to restart the game if that happened. So let's take the engine off and go and get our first pieces of equipment. Now, I want to show you some new pieces of equipment while we're in here. Some of them are actually, I think, over in this sort of machine area over there. In this case, however, there are some new stuff in here. So the huge water pumps, all we had previously was the little tiny ones that are over there somewhere, that one over there. So they are both new. We've got bits and pieces that are new as well. We've got various grates over here for sluice boxes and stuff like that. Some new different types of water pump. We're used to seeing these if you've seen the previous season. New hose types. There's probably going to be more that I'll feature as we actually go on, but we want our default stuff. We can only afford the non-pump version of the hog pan, so let's grab one of those. Let's grab a couple of hog mats, hog pan mats, and we don't want the extension, we want the core. And let's grab you. And I think that's it, other than a couple of, well, the tutorial will say, you know, take a bucket. I would much prefer to take 3 at least, maybe even more. I don't think there's anything else we actually need because everything else is to do with the machinery, and we've got to start off. With relatively little, as it turns out. So let's go and actually purchase those. Let's go into the checkout, and so we've got 1 hog pan no pump, 2 hog pan mats, a sluice box core, and a bucket. Order. Yes, don't show me that again, please. I'm just going to put that stuff outside, up here. We'll put it in the back of our pickup truck, and then we'll head out to the first parcel. Let's just put the that stuff in the back of the truck first. Not sure if you guys have actually played the game or not. Do let me know if you have, or if you haven't, or if you don't like it, or if you do. I'm more than happy to hear it. And it'd be nice to be able to pick up more than one thing at once, but I don't. Yep, there we go. All right, let's get in and head out to our parcel. And let's just head out here. Hopefully I don't crash into everything else on the way out there. Once I'm off the tarmac, I'm going to disable the diff lock. And we'll just head out. cross the railway tracks ahead and carry on through the sort of, I don't know, magnetite plant, I guess we'd call it. Or the, I don't know what kind of plant it is really. That's where you take your magnetite, that's all I know. Alright, so just down here. And through this plant, and then we'll get to the old Arnold parcel. And there was 2 rocks in the world. You'll know which rocks I mean if you've played the game. If you haven't, I'll show you in a second. It's the narrowest gap possible, and it seems that the pickup truck can get through it, and just. And that's pretty much, well, the problem is I normally miss it, and then we end up Austin Powers 3-point turning a lot. There we go. So you see those 2 rocks right ahead, one on the left and one on the right here. Gotta go through them really slowly. I never managed to make it if I go any faster than that. In any case, we're on to old Arnold's parcel, and we should get set up with our starting equipment, which is relatively straightforward. So I'm just going to turn the engine off and hit the handbrake, and then we'll start grabbing stuff. I'm just pick up the buckets and drop them for the moment. I don't actually need them just yet. We only need 1 to start technically, but let's head down here. Just lift this up so you can see. So we'll drop that down there. This is just the area you start with tier 1, which is just sort of hand digging, if you like. And now we just need the top section. There we go. Of the golden retriever, as it might be. Let's just go have a look. Yep, I want the mats really. Let's put them both in here. There's one and the second one. Can we get it from the back? Ah, there it is. Cool. Okay, now the game sort of suggests to you that you might use buckets to fill with dirt. Nah. You can do that, by all means. You can fill, you see where it says got a bucket indicator there, you can use that, by all means, to empty dirt into this thing. I don't. Well, at least not to start. So all I'm going to do is just fill it with water and put it here. I'm just going to grab another bucket. We don't need the third one just yet, but that's fine, just so it's out of the way. And the reason why you go for multiple buckets is once we've got this thing full-ish, you would otherwise just be refilling the same bucket with water all over and over. So we're not going to sort that one out. So there we go. All right, so new to this version of the game is tools. And if you press number 1, number 2, etc., you'll see there's a bunch of different tools that you can actually do. Small shovel we don't need to worry about. Shovel is the one we want right now, but there's also cordless screwdrivers, crowbars, wrenches, lots of stuff to repair stuff with, and that's what that essentially is all for. So we're just going to get started, and we're just going to start filling. Oh, so many shovels. Yeah, we're just going to fill the hog pan directly, and you'll see on the left there it shows you how full things are. And don't worry, I'm not going to show all this on camera. I just want to get to 1 bucket worth full. Now, before we go back to town and buy stuff, we're going to want, I think, about 20 grams of gold. 20-25 grams will be comfortable at 78%. And that'll mean that we need to fill this a few times. Oh, we found a gold nugget. Okay. I wasn't expecting that. I didn't do it on my test, so yes, we'll keep it. Thank you very much. And we've got 18 grams of gold. Okay. Okay, so that's a third of an ounce, I guess, as if you were American, you're watching this. So, yeah, we'll have to use standard units, however. Okay, so it's now full, thankfully, to that nugget. And we can just grab the bucket and empty it to empty water into here. The water's going to wash the dirt down onto the hog pan mats. And then we should be able to, once this actually finishes, yeah, empty another bucket. Now, if you saw back in the shop, there is the pump version of this, and what that really does is just it basically constantly filters out things rather than having to refill these buckets. And there it is, it's empty, and both of those are on 9%. So I'm going to go and probably dig up a couple more times, and in fact, no, what I'm going to do first, before I go digging, I'll start laying out the equipment we use to separate the gold. So if I head in here, there's a few things. One, there's a tablet. We'll come back to that in a little bit. All right, so here is a really large bucket. We're just going to fill this with water. And we're going to use that to separate things out. So let's fill you up and drop you back there. That'll do. Fences. Head back in and we'll grab our pan. Oops, in we go. There we go. Just so I've got everything ready. And now I'm just going to dig up the, well, at least get this to, I don't know, maybe 20% or something like that. Don't have to be anything any better than that. So, back in a second. Okay, so I hit another nugget, and that's brought me to 32 grams of gold. I've not even actually used this equipment once yet. We've got 2 nuggets. Anyway, that makes the start of the game a little bit easier. Before, you used to have to actually be doing this quite a lot and dig out the majority of this little patch of earth here. You see all this? Up to about here, all this brown sort of separate texture, that's all diggable. You can actually remove all of that with a shovel if you want to. We probably don't want to be fair, but we can get started at the start of the game. So we've got a couple of mats now, which should have some gold in them. It's saying 18%, that'll do. So let's just grab, just grab a bucket, and we're just going to fill that with water for a second. And then we're just going to grab the mats. And when I get the option to, yeah, we're going to use them on the bucket. Just wash out the mats into the bucket. And back then they go. And there we go. So this one bucket now has 36% of a mat, I guess. If there's 2 18s. And now we can pick this up and use it on our pan. The pan will now contain rocks. Not great, but the rocks, if we go use this on the larger the larger bucket, we can control this with let's get this right. Yeah, we can I can't see the controls. That is for some reason not showing. Let's just drop this into the water with left click and right click, and we can just move it around with the mouse. That'll show that we're getting rid of the dirt. There we go. And we can just empty it out. Nothing too worrying there. If you want to make sure that it's all gone, just fill it up again, and you'll see it's not quite as brown this time. So it pretty much has found all of the gold. Now shift should enable the gold selection mode. There it is. And now I can actually see now I can see the various options for the controls. In any case, we just want that one and that one. We're going to pick it up, and you can see the gold increasing on the top right. Let go of shift, drop the stuff into there, press E, and you're now back out. So just once more, and then I'll not show that on the camera again. So press E to drop some dirt into here, pick it up with E, select with E, drop it down, pick it up. Again, left and right mouse clicks, revolve it around a little bit, and that will just get us, hopefully, everything out of this. There we go. It's fairly clear now. Just get rid of the water. Again, this is just W and S. You can also, you know, tilt it that way as well if you want to. And then we just press shift once we can see the gold. There we go. Got both of them. Press shift again. Get rid of the rocks. And you're done. Okay, so we've got 36 grams of gold now. I'm going to head back to town. I'm not going to show you me driving that section of road again, especially those rocks. But we'll go to town and then we'll see what we can do from there. Okay, so we're coming to town now, and we're just turned back towards where we started the game, and the blacksmith is down here. Now, the blacksmith has a couple of options, one of which has changed significantly since the last time I used it. They used to be able to do 2 things. One, sell you ore, which is exactly what we're about to do. The second option is to get him to smelt the gold into bars. However, I think that takes time now. Smelt. I think it takes time. I was almost sure I saw something in settings about that. In any case, we don't want to do that regardless at the start of the game. There we go. Smelting time for 1 ounce is 2.5 hours. I assume that's in-game hours, so it may take a little while. In any case, we're just going to go and sell it all. Get $1,270. Nice. A couple of nuggets. Again, we can't be assured that we're going to get those couple of nuggets, by the way, because my previous test game, I didn't get it. I didn't get a single one. So yeah, I'm much happier now. It takes a lot less digging when you get a couple of nuggets like that. So we got $1,300 now, which means we can afford to go and buy some extra stuff. Now, there is a tablet in the claim that I think you can use to buy stuff, but since we're already in town for the blacksmith, we may as well go and buy stuff here. So we're going to need a few bits and pieces, certainly. So we're going to go and get that pump version of the hog pan pump. There we go. Buy one of those. Buy a couple more mats. We're going to buy the extension. Yep. Now we also want a water. That's a generator. I want a water pump. And I also want a few different hoses. So we need one of the large hoses. We're going to need one of the small hoses. And we're going to need a filter. And then we just need fuel for all of this. So filters are over here. Now, is there any jerry cans here? I hope there is. Oh, is that a jerry can? Yep. We'll buy a couple of those, I guess. I think that's everything. I don't think we can really afford anything else at the moment. How much are you? Okay, so 1,000 and 6,000. Yeah, we can't afford those. Miners mosses aren't relevant. None of this is relevant to tier 1, so let's just go and see how much the bill is. $700. Let's order all of that. $770. So that's probably about half of what we had. So I guess you want 20 grams of gold to make sure you can afford all of that before you get all of this. So we're going to need to unload this into the truck. Let me do that, and then I'll meet you down at the petrol station, or gas station if you're American. It's just right down that road past the bank. Okay, so with the remaining amount of money, we've got $500, $560. We're going to make sure, first of all, that I fill up the truck, and let's fill it up. I assume the petrol cap is on this side. I want to say it is because it's American. Yes. Good. Not entirely inaccurate then. Where is the pump? There it is. There's no pump on that one? Oh well. Okay, so here we go. We can choose what to fill this with. So let's just fill her up. $100 of fuel. And then I think we'll also want to just fill up the water pump while we're here. And then we can do the same thing with the jerry cans as well. Just so we've got some extra fuel back at the parcel. Later on, we'll get a much bigger tank, a big cylindrical thing. But for the moment, that's fine. And now we can head back to the parcel. We're a couple $100 down, but yeah, at least we're not going to run out of fuel anytime soon, hopefully. And while we were passing, I thought we'd take a look at the whole machine sales. Is it Stephen Batty's Heavy Equipment? Okay, so this is entirely new, the drilling machine. I think this samples your parcel to find. It's $146,000, but it samples your parcel to find the richer areas because it's not all even. That is entirely new as well. That's huge, Frankenstein. Yes. I suppose you could call it that. Interesting. This is old, that's fine. That's our good old excavator, the big one, the one that we really want. Both of these are fine and original. Is the trommel the same? There's a new one, I think, available in DLC. Well, clearly that's either a joke or I have the DLC. A reinforced trommel. So lots of upgrades from what we were used to from last season. Is there anything more in here? Gravel pump? Planter? D-rocker? Yes. So lots and lots of new stuff and a glacier creek. So that must be all tier 3. A lot of those are tier 3. These two things we're used to, if you've seen the last season, just a big fuel tank. There's a smaller one in the main shop. A power generator, fine, and then the rest of the equipment. So it looks like they've improved tier 3 at least, and that is a good news because tier 2 used to be actually the most efficient, because tier 3 always used to have issues getting the same amount. Well, you always end up with about the same amount of ore as tier 2, even though you'd spent a huge amount more money on machines. So it was almost never worth it. But we'll see what that's like on this one once we get to that stage, which is, for me, quite a bit of digging. For you, perhaps not so much. You just have to listen to me talk, perhaps. Or make comments with other people about how good or bad this game is. Cue comments below. All right, back to the parcel. And of course, because it's me, I forgot to actually pick up the extension from the shop. So those of you who are eagle-eyed can feel free to point and laugh. So let's pop that in. And I've put the rest of the equipment out here now. So what I actually want to do is just remove that box now. Shouldn't need it anymore. And replace it with this box, which we are going to use. Or at least if it lets me attach it. Come on. Why don't you let me attach? Do I have to remove these? Let's give it a try. Oh no, just needs to be in the right place. Let's put those back. Where's the other one gone? Ah, there it is. So I got a couple more. This is going to fit the extension just fine. Then we're going to need the filter. And I grab it there. Can we just attach it to the end of the hose? Looks like we can. Well, if it'll let me. There we go. And let's grab the hose and we're going to connect it to the water pump. There we go. And put the other end into the water somewhere. Doesn't much matter where. We're not going to deplete this water anytime soon, put it that way. Or at least at all. So then we just connect the other end. We're just going to grab this. And then we can hook this up to the outputs. There's two of them. There's one. There's the other one. And it's hooked up. So now, essentially, this will, by itself, go and filter out things. So let's just move these over here for a second. So I've got some room. And let's give this a go. So if I just... I'm not sure if I want to start it up while I'm digging or just one at a time. It depends how much. There we go. Why don't you say water? I've hooked you up to water. Or is that... Oh, that's an out. Connected to the in. There we go. Water. That's a stop button. Where's the pull cord? I almost always miss this thing, and it's on here somewhere, I promise. Where's the pull cord? Ah, there it is. Good. So now we've pretty much got constant running water, and we can just dig away and just empty into this thing, hopefully. Are you going to filter immediately? You are. Good. So it's more of an automated machine. I guess I still have to actually dig, but the digging is actually is not too bad. At least until we dig our way through the hole on this side of the this enclosure and have to move further over. Oh, we just found another nugget. Look at that. All of you may be hating me now. But if you didn't, that's fine. That's fine. If you find nuggets yourself, that's more than enough. So now you'll see I don't even have like a fill indicator. It's just going straight away into the mats, which is exactly what we want. So I'm not going to show much more of this on camera. This is pretty much the end, I think, of tier 1. I don't think there's any improvements to this. Let me just double check. Oh, another nugget! I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And in the time it took me to fill 4 of these mats, I'm now at 388 grams of gold. So a third of a kilogram from nuggets. So they definitely changed the start of the game so it's less tedious. I approve wholeheartedly. Last time I played this through, I had to empty all of this out, as I've said, just to really get anywhere. But this is good. So now I'm going to filter out these mats. So 388.888, that's remarkably good of those nuggets. And let's see how much that goes up to after I've cleared these out of these mats. So one full run of our 4-mat setup has taken us up to 495, so that's 107 higher than what we had originally. And we're going to head straight back to the blacksmith again. I still want instant ore. I don't want to speculate and create gold bars just yet. We may well do that later, but I think it does then take times, I think. I'm sure someone can actually correct it. Otherwise, I don't want to actually start something like that without knowing for sure. So let's just head into our blacksmith and see how much money we get. First of all, let's see how much 107 grams of gold actually is before we sell the whole amount. So if I go to here, sell gold ore, and how much is 107? So it's around 3,800 per full run of that tier 1 setup, which is not too bad. But we're going to sell all the nuggets as well that we get on top, and we get 17,000 gold. Okay, so up to 17,000 gold, and we're still on day 1. It might be nice if that continues. I highly doubt that it will. So yes, that's day 1 sort of done for me. And that's probably a good point to end the episode, just to keep things nice and separate. Next episode we'll take a look. I'll probably have to do another couple of runs off camera, of course. But we'll then take a look into the next episode to see what we want to upgrade to next. Probably need to take a trip into here to get various bits and pieces. And stop. There we go. Alright, if you like this episode, feel free to let me know below by subscribing and sharing, of course, leaving comments talking about the game, or to other people who are also commenting on the game. Otherwise, we'll see you next episode. Oh, I don't want to buy that. No, I don't want to order it. We'll see you next episode, and as always, guys, thanks for watching.